this video, I will go over the same trades that I took this week on my funded account. That's not all. You will look at my risk trade management style that helps me preserve my Top Step accounts. Now, just to show you guys proof that I actually made 1,000 this week on my accounts, here is my Top Step dashboard. Let's go to specifically this week. Now, I didn't make 1,000, I made 862, but 1,000 looks good for the title. So right here we have Thursday and then Friday, which are the two trades that I took this week. I was in drawdown, and these two trades got me out of drawdown. And then at the top right here, you can see Express October. Even when I refresh the page, still the same Express account. If we go to the actual dashboard, you can see my equity curve. I was started off 0, went down a bit, and now we're back above the balance. 3 more days to complete before I get a payout. Now I'm gonna go over the trades that I took. The first one being a trade on YM or the Dow Jones that I could have taken this week. That would have made me 1,500, but I ended up missing it. But I'm still gonna go over it just so that you guys can see. So the first thing I like to look at when coming into the day is what is the higher time frame saying. On the higher time frame, I can see that we are making higher highs and then we're making higher lows. After that, I'm looking at where my draw on liquidity is at. If you remember, liquidity is resting above highs and lows. If I'm bullish and we're making a low on the market, the only place where liquidity should be resting at are these highs up here. Those highs are my higher time frame draw. The next and final part that I like to pay attention to is news. Here is the economic calendar. This is Wednesday. Nothing was really happening on Wednesday news-wise, and news is very important to my overall system because news gives us volatility. On Monday or Tuesday, we get the low of the week. This is very important when I'm looking at the higher time frame as well, because going on the lower time frames, I know that I am bullish. So the next thing I do after marking off all my higher time frame levels, knowing what direction the market is probably going to go into, I go down to the 15-minute and mark off my sessions. In this black area, this is Asia. We have the high and the low. All of this black is our Asian range. Once we come into the yellow, this is now London. During London, we have the highs and the lows liquidity is resting at. All of this, as you can see, we aren't really going anywhere. Price is accumulating. The next important factor is time. I wait until 8:15 before looking for anything inside of the markets. 8:15, what do we see? We don't take out Asia low, but we take out London, which is right here. The next important thing I'm looking at is supply and demand. I go up to my 1 hour time frame and I mark off no demand zones because I am bullish. At 8:30, the only demand zone was this one right here that broke above Asia high. After we take out this liquidity right here, I am looking to get inside of this trade. We take out London low, which is right here, and then what do we do next? We automatically start reversing, and we're in this 1 hour demand zone. For me, I'm putting my stop loss right below this low. My TP should be 1 to 5 risk to reward, and then price goes right to it. Another thing that I like to look at is on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, when this was all happening, I'm looking where is the last leg, last market structure leg before we broke it and started moving higher. It was right here. I'm waiting for price to break above this leg before knowing full or having more probability on my side this trade was going to move higher. But in the end, I didn't end up taking this trade just because price happened too fast that I couldn't even get in time to take advantage of the whole entire move. The next trade that I took was on gold, which is DC futures. When looking at gold, the same process that I did on YM still applies. This was the trade that I took on Thursday that ended me getting me a 1 to 5. On Thursday, the first thing that I was looking at is, again, what is our higher time frame saying? When we go up to the 1 hour, I can see that we are bullish and we're targeting all of this liquidity. Specifically, I was looking for us to take this high right here, which is the all-time high, just because the way we were pushing up. Thursday was very important because we had 3 red folder news events coming out. This told me that there's more than likely going to be a lot of volatility manipulation. Like I said, the next thing I do after knowing what our market structure is saying and where higher time frame liquidity is at, I go down to my lower time frame. First, what do we see? Marking off Asia for gold is very, very, very important because gold, out of everything everything I trade loves to take out Asia. We can see that we have Asia high, which is in black. We can see the high is right here. Liquidity is up there. You can see the low is right here. But we shouldn't start looking for any trades until the low of Asia is taken out. Alright, next we look at London. Now it is 7, which is our time to trade. 7 o'clock is the session opening and is very important. But we have news at 7:30. So I'm not getting inside of any trades yet. And we haven't even taken out London or Asia low. We still don't get in. But since I already know now where liquidity is at, what hasn't been taken out and what has, I can look at for supply and demand zones. Mainly I'm looking for demand zones because of all of this. There's no way that I'm selling inside of this. And I know our higher time frame draw is upwards as well. We have this 15-minute demand right here. That is right below Asia and London. Clear. We go to the 1 hour, we see that we are inside of a 1 hour demand that people probably are inside of right now or are about to get manipulated out of. This was the news candlestick right at 7:30. What do? We take out London low and we take out Asia low at the same time. But I could have got inside of this trade right here, stop loss right under the zone and target up here. But I didn't. Why? Because that stop loss amount was way too big. I tell myself that I'm not going to get inside of a trade if I don't like the risk to reward, because trading is literally all about risk to reward. If I'm not liking the risk to the reward that the market is giving me, I don't take the trade. I rather just wait. But I see that catches my eye. We are still within this 1 hour demand, which is very, very important because I can get a better entry and put my stop right below London low or price manipulated. Right, that candlestick right there, I got in about right here. I got in right about in that area, and then I aimed for a 1 for 5 risk to reward. Then we go back, we see we manipulated Asia. Now we're coming back into the zone after manipulating everybody out. Supply and demand traders, people who trade trend lines, support and resistance, everybody got manipulated out before price is going to do what it wants to do. So now that I'm inside of this trade, I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame. I'm going down, scaling down, and I'm looking at what's going on. I see that the last push that made this market structure shift was, you could say that it was this low. Until the market breaks above this low, I'm not going to be fully confident inside of this trade until it breaks above this high. Why? Because once the market breaks above this high that created this last leg lower, it's going to shift more than likely. I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame at the same time. We end up going down, and then after we did that, I knew that I was all set and clear. Once price got to a 1 to 3, the first thing I did was move my stop to break even and take a partial. Always take partials and always move to break even, because the market will just reverse before taking out our draw on liquidity. You never know where the market wants to reverse at for certain. I take my partial at a 1 to 3. Full TP is at a 1 to 5. I can see that we are approaching London high, which is very important because for me, I honestly thought we were going to take out London high and then just start reversing. But we didn't do that. We took out London high and then had more fuel to go higher, and the trade smacked my TP. So that was this trade that I took on gold. Now this last trade was actually the best trade that I took this week and went way farther than I even expected. But the bad thing that happened was I couldn't risk what I wanted to risk, so I couldn't capture the whole entire move. We're gonna do what we always do. We're looking at our higher time frame first. This is 6M, which is the Mexican. So for this one, I'm going up to the daily. I'm looking where and what are we doing? Where is our higher time frame draw? You can see that we created this extension leg down for the past week. We've been selling off. We took out this liquidity and we took out this liquidity, and now we're reversing. But we still have this down here. So overall, my higher time frame draw is still lower. That mixed with how strong the dollar has been. Go to the DXY. The dollar has been tremendously stronger than anything else. Anything else correlated with the dollar has been falling. Even the pound as well had the same market structure. When I'm looking at these things and I know the fundamentals perspective as well, I know more than likely that we are going to fall. The next important thing that I'm looking at is, what is news telling me? There was literally no news on this day. Everything was just higher time frame zones for me. So coming into the day, the first thing that I noticed is this 4 hour supply, and there's this 1 hour supply right here. I can see as well that we had this 1 hour supply, but I'm not getting in the market at 5 o'clock. Why? Because the session is not open yet that I want to trade in. So now I could go to my lower time frames and see what the sessions are doing. We have Asia, which is accumulating. You might not be able to see it that well. The futures contract has like a lot of gaps, but I'll explain that in a different video. So we have Asia, which is an accumulation. After that, we have London, which took out Asia high right here, but we did not take out Asia low. At 8 o'clock, 6M opens. What do I notice? We don't even tap into this 1 hour, which is up here, right at 8:15. We take out London high, which was resting right in this area. We have London low down here. We have London high, which is right here. We already took out Asia high. We have Asia low, which still hasn't been taken out. When I go to the 4 hour and I see this as well, this extension, we are wicking this whole entire zone. I'm coming back down and I'm getting in off the reversal of this candlestick. Now on Top Step, I can't risk more than 2 contracts on 6M. If anybody knows futures, you know that Top Step gives you a certain amount of contracts you can risk on trade when you first get your express funded account. I could only risk 2 contracts, which is way less than I normally risk. So my stop loss was actually like this, and I couldn't do anything about it, honestly. Next, I'm gonna go on the lower time frames to show you guys how I was analyzing this trade as it was going on. For this, I analyze it on the currency pair MXN/USD, just because the price action is clear, but they're making the same moves. Most important thing I want to show you guys is the market structure shift. On the higher time frames, we have this point right here that made this low down here. So once we break below this low, I know with a little bit more confidence that we're probably going to take out all of this liquidity. We take out that low, we come back for a little, come all the way back up there, and then wait for it, we fall. And if you look at the futures, looks exactly the same. Next, looking at the trade, I see a rejecting. I'm seeing we cannot break above London high where we manipulated. My first take profit is a 1 to 3 as always. Price melts, hits my 1 to 3. I'm taking a partial right there, and my 1 to 3 was close to London low, which we took out. I'm taking a partial, moving to break even. Next target, we have Asia low, take that out. Last target, full 1 to 5, we take that out too. If I was able to risk what I wanted to risk on this trade, it would have been a whole monster of a trade and hit like almost a 1 to 10 full R. This is the entire model from the higher time frame all the way to the lower time frame all the way to the 1 minute. So the same things that happen on the lower time frames happen on the higher time frame. The market is sort of like a wave. It starts from the higher time frames. You can start seeing the signs of a shift happening, kind of like a tide turning. It's stuff like that, where you'll see it happening on, like the market will signs of it happening, and then all you have to do really is get in and then ride the wave of where the market pushes or pulls you. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, as I promised, is risk and trade management. I believe that one of the most important things that a trader can have is their risk and trade management, because you can have an edge with a certain win rate, but that win rate can become better if you know how to manage your risk and drawdown. You know how to manage your trades more effectively. Last week, I was in a 3-trade drawdown upon getting this funded account, but I didn't panic, didn't risk more. I risked less. As I lost this trade, I cut my risk down in half to 125 for these 2 trades. Technically, I should have been down a whole, if I was risking 1%, I'd be down 3%, and this whole entire account would only have 1% left. This whole entire account would only have 1% left. But instead, I cut my risk in half, which helped me psychologically as well. And then this week, I got straight out of drawdown because of risking low and just incrementally climbing out. All the trades that I went over today, I called out inside of my free Discord. When I get inside the trade, everything that I'm looking at, the 3 days that I trade in the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you guys are interested, my free Discord is in the link in the description if you want to join a team of like-minded traders. And that's it for this video. If you guys liked, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.